Did you know that there are more than 3 billion gamers around the world and only a small percentage of them are actually console exclusive? Hi, my name is Carla Larriba. I'm a senior program manager on the Xbox Cloud Gaming, working on the developer experiences side.
Hi, my name is Milena Gonzalez, and I work with Carla as a program manager on the Xbox Cloud Gaming Developer Experiences team.
We are here to help you learn how you can unlock that big gap by getting started with Xbox Cloud Gaming. It's your first steps towards chartering your game to those whole 3 billion gamers, because the majority of people play on more platforms, not just console. We do hope that you have had the chance to listen to the talk given by our peers Gus Apostle and Sean Farkas, titled Reach More Players with Xbox Cloud Gaming, where they walk us through their 3-year journey on pursuit of cloud gaming and the benefits of cloud streaming. If you haven't, don't worry. We'll go ahead and summarize the benefits here. We'll dig deeper into touch controls and one of our latest APIs, Dynamic Touch Control State. With one game, your Xbox game, now you can reach more markets, more devices, and more playtime. Xbox Cloud Gaming brings your game to markets around the globe, allowing players who do not have a console to enjoy your game. I'm from Ecuador. Getting a console over there is fairly expensive. In fact, getting the whole setup is hard. I didn't have a console growing up. I talk to my friends in Brazil, and they tell me it's the same thing, even today. It wasn't really surprising to me when we launched in Brazil. At one time, we have 40% of our gamers being streaming only. Allowing gamers to enjoy your game on their preferred devices brings more fun to them and a bigger opportunity for playtime. Just think about it. I can start my game on my living room, playing on my console, and if I have to go somewhere, I can just switch and keep playing on my phone. Once I reach my destination, and if I have a browser, I just hop over to the browser and keep playing. My gaming experience doesn't have to stop because I had to leave my console.
And we are already seeing this impact. 1 in every 5 of our xCloud players exclusively plays with touch. Titles that do support touch, on average, see a 2-time increase in usage across all genres. Not only that, but the sentiment of the users who play with touch is on average equivalent, if not higher, than the overall sentiment on the Xbox Cloud Gaming platform all up. It's convenient, it's accessible, it competes with native mobile gaming experiences, and we are continuing to see more and more gamers enjoy playing with touch. More than ever, players expect quality gaming experiences easily accessible and at their disposal instantly. With touch experiences, you can deliver on this and lower the barrier of entry to gaming. No console? No problem. No controller? No problem. Allow more players to enjoy your games on the devices that they already own. Let me tell you why this is so important to me. Efforts like these are the whole reason I'm in the tech industry presenting to you at this conference. I discovered computer science through a program called Girls Who Code, whose mission is to lower the barrier of entry to computer science education. That's exactly what we're trying to do here in the gaming industry. We are empowering more people than ever to access and enjoy Xbox games. Last year, the mobile gaming market had the biggest share in the gaming market and will continue to grow rapidly. We are inviting you to participate in this mobile market with your existing skills, code, and content. Our mission is to empower you to create the games you want, for the consumers you want, on the devices you want, without having to learn a bunch of extra skills and tools. Build once, play everywhere. Let's think about developing for the cloud in terms of different levels of investment. We'll walk you through these different levels, starting with streaming a console-native game, to starting your touch adaptation story, and finally to leveraging one of our newer cloud-aware features, Dynamic Touch Control State. So you're all familiar with developing for the console, or console-native games. These games have no idea they're being streamed at all, and therefore have no capability of adapting to any specific streaming scenarios. Touch adaptation is that first level of investment, and there are even tiers of investment within that. For example, you can just slap a static touch layout on top of your console native game, which ports touch inputs back to the game as controller input, and it just works. Yes, it's playable, but is it the best touch experience your game could provide? Absolutely not. The more heavily you invest in touch adaptation, the better touch experiences you will be able to provide for your players. Even by doing just a little bit more, like adding custom assets that match your game's art style, can really elevate the touch experience completely. But at this point, the layout still doesn't respond to any in-game events. And that's where we get to cloud-aware games. By leveraging a few APIs, you can completely transform your game to look and feel even closer to a native mobile gaming experience. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough, without having to learn a completely new mobile development stack.
One of our main goals is to make game streaming as minimally impactful on your development cycle as possible. So we do have in mind the tools and processes that you are accustomed to when building your Xbox game. You only need to make some slight adjustments to that to build your cloud-aware game. You mainly need three things. You need Visual Studio for your development, and we strongly suggest you to have Pix for debugging. It'll make your life easier in the long run. Second thing is you need to enable your dev kit for streaming. You'll be able to see the streaming page on your dev kit homepage. The third thing is having an ability to test. You'll need to stream your game to something so you can actually see how it behaves on the streaming environment. You can do that by streaming to the Content Test application or to the browser. We have done several talks in the past teaching you how to enable your dev kit for streaming and how to stream your game using the Content Test application. Today, we're going to focus more on how to teach it to stream your game using the browser. You can see the other talks by going to the link on the screen. Once you have your dev kit set up, you can now stream your game during your development cycle by going to xbox.com/play/devtools. You'll be asked to sign in, so please make sure to sign in using the account that is connected to your dev kit. In this case, I already have my dev kit set up, which I call Potato. Connecting to your Xbox development kit enables you to validate the local installed version of your game in a streaming environment. If you haven't set up your dev kit yet, you'll actually be able to see this other screen. You'll get instructions on how to enable Remote Connect by clicking the Setup New Xbox. You can also use this screen to easily set up another dev kit. You can find additional development tools on the gear icon here, which is mainly based on the touch control section. Side loading allows the stream to connect to the command line tooling. Enable automatic refresh ensures that any changes made to currently sideloaded bundles from your PC are automatically reflected to the browser, making it really easy on your development cycle to see your changes in real time. Allow mouse interaction lets you try out the touch layouts using the mouse as opposed to your fingers. This keeps you productive on your development cycle without having to change inputs back and forth. Now, let's go ahead and actually stream our game. We have a game set up for you, which is fairly simple. Once I hit connect to my dev kit, the stream will start. Our game that we have today is just going to be toggling the background back and forth, as you are going to be seeing right now. One of the key things and one of the very useful things to be able to stream your game on the browser is that you can resize it. You'll be able to see how it looks and feels in different screen sizes, allowing for you to really custom your experience depending on the screen.
Let me show you all the different types of controls you can leverage with the Touch Adaptation Kit, or the TAK. Each control can be customized with the different icons we provide through the Touch Adaptation Kit, or with your own custom icons. First off, we've got buttons which can be assigned to one or more Xbox buttons. You can add additional styling for the different states of these buttons. Buttons assigned to face buttons or analog buttons will automatically display a subscript to indicate which control is being triggered, like in this arcade button example. The other thing to note in this example is the combo button functionality. Players can activate 3 buttons at once by pressing the upper or lower dots on this control. We also have the D-pad control, which you can customize to accept 4 or 8 inputs. 8 include the combination of those neighboring arms. The Touch Adaptation Kit also supports 2 kinds of joysticks. On the top row, we have our standard joystick, and on the bottom row, we have our touchpad control. The touchpad control is a great option for camera control, as it functions closer to a mouse or a laptop touchpad than the standard joystick. Your game is a driving game? Well, our joysticks can be configured specifically for driving scenarios. On the top row here, we have configured this joystick to solely respond to the horizontal axis. This is a great option for a steering wheel. The bottom control is a throttle control, which responds only to the y-axis. When you map it to a trigger, you can simulate the player holding that trigger, say at 70%. Here are all the different icons we provide through the Touch Adaptation Kit. Players who are new to the Xbox ecosystem may not quickly associate the A button with a jump action, so using an icon that signifies that control's action can really lower the barrier of entry for new players. Now let's dive into touch layouts. You can find example touch layouts on our GitHub, which will be linked in our GDC site. We'll show you how to get these layouts onto your game with our web dev tooling. First, we'll need to enable Touch Adaptation sideloading. This will establish a connection to our command line tooling so that when you start a stream, you can see the changes to your touch layout instantly. We'll go ahead and get started with that same touch layout we just grabbed from our GitHub, which we've named here Icons. We'll go ahead and get that command line tooling up and running. Here, we'll just paste in a command we've saved beforehand for this demo. The command we're using here is tac-serve, and all of the additional arguments are pointing to asset and context files. Now let's go ahead and get that stream started. You can see that the sideloading here was indeed successful from the messaging at the top of the screen. In the bottom left corner here, we have a developer menu where you can quickly switch between your different touch layouts. We'll go ahead and get started with this icons layout. We're going to change the sword here to match the sword of the character in-game. In the current layout, we are leveraging the sword icon provided by the Touch Adaptation Kit. But if we switch that icon to our own custom asset, which we've already added to our assets folder, that button will now reflect that custom asset. And boom, here we have a sword icon that matches your character's actual sword. You can add additional styling for different states of the control. Now, both the active and idle state have their own custom asset reference. When a player interacts with this button, they'll receive a clear visual indication of the control's activation. When you leverage custom assets across the entire layout, you can really make the touch controls feel like a cohesive part of your game. We can show you what a big difference this makes by switching to our custom asset example layout. This layout can also be found on our GitHub. And boom, there we have all of your touch controls match your game's art style. Here are a few examples of different kinds of layouts you can achieve using the sum of the icons we provide in the Touch Adaptation Kit. As you can see, the organization of each layout varies greatly and is specific to your game. The way our schema is organized is by dividing the screen into left and right wheels. Each wheel has inner and outer slots you can place controls into. Our catalog has over 100 touch-enabled games that leverage touch layouts. We've found that these layouts work best when you focus your primary actions in the center of those inner wheels, as they are the largest and easiest to hit. Secondary actions are best suited for the top outer edges of those wheels, and tertiary actions focus towards the bottom. Consider grouping similar actions together on the same wheel. For example, keeping all of your movement controls on the left-hand side of the screen, and focusing all your action buttons on the right-hand side for ease of use. Largely, this same format of grouping common actions into consistent slots can be seen across our entire catalog. Now, with just a few custom assets, you can really elevate your touch experience, just like Psychonauts and Hades did here. The custom assets really pull the whole experience together and make the touch controls feel like a cohesive part of the game. This level of touch integration requires zero code changes and can be completed even after the game has shipped. And this is really just the tip of the iceberg. The touch experience only gets better from here. The earlier in your development cycles that you start considering streaming scenarios, and the more heavily you invest in those scenarios, the better it gets. With minimal cloud-aware changes, you can achieve things like native touch, layout switching, dynamic touch control state, and so much more.
Now that you have learned more about touch controls, how to do side loading, the basic building blocks of touch, and how to add your own custom assets, you can take your game even further on your cloud-aware journey, adding what we call dynamic touch control state. Dynamic touch control state allows you to toggle certain properties of the touch controls from your code itself. Like in this case, once I press the sword, I'm going to toggle the visibility of the bow. This empowers you to manage things like control visibility, look, or even the input that is mapped to, all directly from your code, helping you avoid spoilers by having on-screen touch controls that build up to the mechanics of gameplay. If your player hasn't learned a super ability yet, don't worry. Dynamic touch control state helps you keep that a secret. This way, you can customize more your game and provide a very customizable and rich experience to your gamer, all done from your code to the layout. Another way to do this is actually having from your code to have a lot of multiple layouts that subsequently add a control until you have a full control set. It's doable, but it's actually really hard to maintain and it's pretty hard to scale. So let's jump into and learn how you can use dynamic touch control state. Here is the same game that we have been using throughout this demo to add your touch control or your custom assets. Dynamic touch control state is going to let you do this. Once I hit the bow, I toggle the visibility of the bow. So let's go over to the icons.json, which is the one we've been using this whole time. The first thing I need to do is I need to go to context.json file. It helps me keep track and contains the definitions of the states of the variable we might be managing during gameplay. In this case, I'm using enable bow equals to false. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my icons.json file and I'm going to make a reference to the variable that I just defined on the context.json file. I look for my sword and then I'm going to be able to put it under the action side. Just make a quick reference to it. The third thing is once I have that, I'm just going to go over to my code and say, hey, once I press my sword, toggle the visibility of the bow, and make a reference from my code to the layout. After that, I just need to click save and I'll be able to see it. As you're going to see here, once I save my layout, my bow completely goes away. Once I hit my sword, the visibility comes back. It's just that simple. Here's how Minecraft Dungeons tutorializes the game mechanics by adding touch controls as you progress through the game. Here, I'm at level 1 on the Squid Coast level. The only thing that I have is my melee action. I only have my sword. As I progress through the game, I'm able to actually get arrows, which helps me unlock my bow. Now I have my bow. Makes it so much easier to kill creepers that are coming at you. The more I progress through the game, the more the abilities are going to actually unlock for me. In this case, if we fast forward, I have all my abilities available for me. I have my sword, I have my bow, I have all the different abilities, like my mushroom, which allows me to move faster and kill enemies faster. And also have an ability to let me repel the enemies that are coming at me. And I have my healing ability that comes very handy when I'm about to die. This way, it lets me really enjoy the game little by little as the abilities unlocks to me.
We hope you have found this information helpful and inspiring. Allowing your games to also be enjoyed outside of console experiences is a key factor in driving all-up game revenue. We are very excited to help you reach more players at a global scale, no console or controller needed. Remember, with Xbox Cloud Gaming, you can create the games you want for the consumers you want on the devices you want without having to learn a bunch of extra skills and tools. But don't just take our word for it. We have a demo where we walk you through how Yakuza Like a Dragon leveraged the Touch Adaptation Kit and Cloud-Aware APIs to create custom and player-focused experiences. You can also listen to the game creators themselves talk about their experience developing for the cloud in our testimonial video. So check out our public documentation. Take a crack at touch controls and Cloud-Aware APIs. Get started with our touch layout and Cloud-Aware examples on our GitHub. All of these links are available on our GDC website, which you can find by following this QR code. Thanks for listening in.
Thank you.